What's going on? Born for Sports. And the news drops today. Giants Nation. The inevitable, in my opinion, dropped today. John Mara is bringing back Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll for 2025. Well, listen, if you listen to me and this channel for the last couple of weeks, I felt for weeks that if you just read the tea leaves, you see the articles coming out in the favor of, oh, well, we'll keep this regime, or, they're not joint together collectively. And hey, maybe we'll even go as far as getting rid of Daboll and keeping Joe Schoen. You knew, I knew, you knew, everyone around the world knew that knows how John Mara operates, that there was no way he wanted to get rid of this regime. We know how he is, okay? So this news honestly did not surprise me. I kind of was just bracing for the news to hit. I want change. Most of Giant Nation wants change, but we all know John Mara's old school ways. He didn't want to fight this regime. He didn't want to go there. And I thought, to me, it was straight buffoonery if they would have only let go of Brian Daboll and kept Joe Schoen, who's the architect of this mess. So the only thing worse than getting rid of no one is getting rid of only one of them. So, hey, news we expected, news I expected. We turn the page, we move. But one thing's for sure, I will say, winning that meaningless game versus the Colts in the home finale was what all Mara wanted to see to keep him. And no one out here could tell me otherwise, okay, of how John Mara works. He didn't want to do this. And it only took that one meaningless game on the last home game of the year with nothing to play for, nothing on the line, even losing out on the number one pick in the draft, that's all he cared about. Just don't finish winless at home. That's all he cared about. Because obviously he's comfortable with losing with this regime still, with all the problems with the roster, with the architect Joe Schoen, messing this rob, looking at the first 2 years of his draft, seeing what's on the roster, who's a guy that could stay going forward for the future and not. Hey, he didn't care about none of that. He just wanted to make sure he wasn't embarrassed because of all the planes flying overhead. All he wanted to do was say, hey, as long as they don't go winless at home, we'll run it back. And I'm not even going to fall for it to know, oh, this was just something that he just decided on Friday. Okay? We all know he didn't want to do it, and that's exactly what we got. Well, I'll tell you one thing. The 2025 seat for this regime is hot as lava. They got to win. And even Mara came out and said today in his comments, he also threw out there, hey, it better start winning. It's better start getting this thing going now because I'm losing my patience. Well, that tells me that it's sink or swim for this regime. Just like coming into the season, Daniel Jones, it was sink or swim. Well, next year, coming into 2025 is sink or swim. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on this regime to get it done. First things first, they're going to have to find the coaching staff to get improved. Okay? And you kind of read what you were listening to with this regime, what they were saying, Mara comments about the regime. Brian Daboll really didn't commit to bringing back Bowen. Also, there was talk. Mara said he had a talk with Brian Daboll about not calling plays anymore. I don't think there's any question they're going to make changes to the coaching staff. No doubt about it. And that means Shane Bowen, he's going to be out of here, I would assume. Because I saw Mara really come for the defense. And I'm looking at the offense, and I'm no fan of Shane Bowen. He can go. I want him gone too. He sucks. But what was worse than that was the offense. So basically, they're chalking it up to just the quarterback play when it's more than that. I think next year you're going to see, and also in the coming weeks, there will be different changes to this offensive and defensive coaching staff on this team for Brian Daboll. Because let's be honest, the best position coach, or probably the best coach on the staff, including with Brian Daboll, was Russillo, the offensive line coach. Just saying, changes are coming in. As far as the top priority after the season, it's got to be to find that franchise quarterback, because for two reasons. Number one, the franchise is in dire need. They telegraphed what they needed to do and what they were going to do after the season when Hard Knocks dropped and what they were trying to do, trading up and also cutting Daniel Jones midseason. They telegraphed it. Now they're in a position where they might not be able to get their player that they covered in the first two picks, because the first two teams ahead of them need quarterbacks. Thanks for winning a meaningless game, Giants. That really, really helped. But that's water under the bridge. Bottom line is, you're bringing this regime back. It's time for them to find the franchise quarterback. I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe, they go out of the box, come back late in the round and get a Milroe, get a Dart. Who knows? Maybe Aller comes out after all. Who knows? Maybe these two teams don't want quarterbacks. We'll see. That's to be determined. But bottom line is this. The only way I see this regime survives next year is if they find their franchise quarterback and they show improvement on this roster. Hey, that schedule's not looking good next year. It is brutal on paper. So, hey, the only thing that's going to save them is finding that guy. And we will see soon how that will be. All in all, not a decision that I'm happy with, but a decision I expected. John Mara, once again, opting for comfortable regime that he's comfortable with over winning. So you know what? Let's see what happens going forward. All I know is this. Giant Nation, we tired of this. They better start winning next year, and they better find our franchise quarterback. No excuses. Get it done.